In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use textures to add some effects to our images or the shapes that we have used. So I'm going to show you how we can add textures and then use blending modes to create an effect around certain areas of our image. Again, this will use the clipping masks that we used earlier on. So if you're not sure how to do that, you can rewatch the video, which I will link to above. So first thing we need to do is import a texture. Now it can be anything you like. It could be grainy, grungy. I'm just using a linen image here, which I'll show you. So I've got a nice linen one here. And first thing I'm going to do obviously is just import it. Now you want to make sure that it covers the shape you're going to clip it to. So I'm going to put it here like so. And then all I'm going to do then is again line it up so that it's covering the image that I want it to. Let's go for, it's not the eclipse I thought it was actually. Which one? Make sure it's in the right place. Oh no, it's that one. There we go. So I'm in the right place now. Right, so pop it on top of here like so. And then just like before, I'm going to right click on that linen image layer, create a clipping mask, and it will map it to this shape. Now this might be fine. This might be all you want to do. But obviously we want the pink to show through a little bit more. And so what we do is we can use something called the blend modes, which are in the layers panel here. If you find your layers panel doesn't show, you can always get to it again by clicking on window and then layers. And if your workspace goes a little bit awry, you can always reset that by again going to workspace and reset essentials, or whatever other workspace you're using. So I am now going to click on here. And all I'm going to do is, you can see how they all have slightly different effects. I find it's best sometimes just to go through and see what they look like. It might be worth zooming in a little bit, Control plus. Because some of the details can be a little bit minute, so it's difficult to see. So there is an effect there. It's just very slight. The multiplier gives quite a nice textured effect there. The colour burn does as well. And you see how they all have slightly different effects. So the ones in the second section will lighten it. So they probably won't have any effect here. We'll end up seeing nothing. And then you've got some sort of mixtures as we go down on there. So find something you like. I quite liked the linear burn here. It gives a nice effect there. So that's one way of how we can use them, and you can also apply that to any of these here too. You could add it as just a standard background. So what I might do here is add a full color background on here. So I'm going to go onto the plus layer here, and I'm going to drag that all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to click on the circle here with the black and white circle, add a solid colour, and I'm going to go for like a kind of pastel green colour like so. Excellent. Right, so I've added my background colour in here, and then I'm going to use a slightly different one this time. Let's go for this one here. So this time I have got a grungy one. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to make sure it fits the entire page. Doesn't matter if it goes off slightly. And then all I'm going to do is do the exact same effect again. So I'm going to use the blend modes to make this blend in a bit more. Now again, these ones will darken it, so they'll only ever make it look darker than it is now. So I'm going to probably, unless you're looking for something radioactive, go down to the lighten section. And again, these effects are very subtle, but you can see how it's kind of giving it that look in the background there. I'm going to zoom out a bit now so you can see it a little bit better. And they'll all give slightly different effects. So it all depends on what you're looking for with it. And the ones at the bottom are slightly different. So I'm going to go for subtract. I think that one is quite nice. Now, another thing you can do here is you might want it all over the place. So for example, you might want this bit at the top here to have nothing on it, but you like the bits down here. So what we can do is we can use a layer mask to mask certain parts out. So again, in our layers panel here, I'm just going to click on this one, which I always describe as looking like a rectangle with a circle or a child's camera. And what it does here is it's basically added this mask. So now I can use the brush tool to paint bits in and out of my image. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure this is black and white, which it is now. And I'm going to change my brush to something sensible. So just a standard hard brush is what you want on this one. I'm in, there we go. Yeah, let's go for a general brush like so. I'm also going to make it a lot smaller because that is far too big. So using the square bracket keys, you can make it bigger and smaller. And then I can just add or subtract parts to it. So anyway, I click on here, it will now remove, and that could be part of your effect, to be fair, just doing the circles again. But you can, let me just delete these. You can also adjust how much goes. So if I chuck this flow all the way down and change my opacity down a lot as well, you'll find that it'll only subtly remove it. So just ever. So if you like a bit, but think, oh, that area is just a little bit too dark, you can just lighten it using that tool as well. And likewise, if you want, say, an area around here to not have anything around it, so you want like a little radius around your circle here, I can click here, and then everything around that circle becomes clear, like so. And again, you can create some interesting effects using that, like so, and then like so. There we go. And it'll only affect things on that layer. So that's how we can use textures to create effects on here. Now, one of the tools you could also use on here is just the brush tool, like so. So you've used a brush tool here, but there are brushes built into Photoshop that you can use. So I had one open earlier that was kind of creating a star effect. And you can just use these as normal brushes. So I'm going to go onto a new layer here. And you essentially would draw. So if you've got a graphics tablet, that's great. But I'm just going to use, I'm going to go for the green again, but a slightly darker green, like so. And all I'm going to do is just show you how I can paint star patterns or any other things over my brush. If you've just got a standard brush tool, so say I use this soft round brush, I would just be adding these effects on, like so. And again, I can use the blend modes on here too, so they can create some interesting effects as well, depending on what you're looking for with your style. So that is how you can use textures and brushes to create some artistic effects to your designs. Hopefully that helps.